Welcome back, everybody, to another Sunset Spoilercast. Today, we're going to be talking about the Barbie movie, and I don't think the other boys have seen this one quite yet, but I was very excited to see it, largely thanks to my good friend here who really was hyping up the hell out of this movie, and that's Stevie Cole. How you doing today?
I'm doing grand. The other boys are cowards.
No, but like we've been talking about this movie for a million years, and I mean, like I'm gonna be working on an Amy Rose video. Like I've been wanting to do one for a very long time, and you kept pressing like you should probably wait till this movie comes out to help kind of better, find that perspective for that character. Like a lot of things we've been talking about, like just behind the scenes with her. And I gotta say, you were 100% right. Like,
Yeah, it's another girl-centric pink thing which gets equally loved and hated in the same measure, right?
yeah, and it just better informs like, and Barbie's like the perfect place to do it because at first when you're talking about it, it's like, oh, I should probably just read a bit more about um like feminism and you said was it called third generation? I don't know what the terms are. That's how bad I am still.
Third wave.
Third wave
Yeah,
feminism.
we're in the third wave right now. It's kind of rocky.
We
I'm ready for that fourth.
have a rough transition in the fourth wave.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, it's still a Sonic podcast. I can't
Not
escape
that.
it.
No, we buried him. Now this is Barbie's domain. I hate that rat. Screw him. No, we're done. We've moved on. We're blossoming. We got the
Guys,
Kenergy.
okay. I gotta say, if we weren't gonna get you on for Sonic related stuff, like this absolutely had to be on here. I need to say it up front. The game. We didn't play a game. The movie was great. And I've been waiting to post about it on Twitter or X as it's called now. Because you
Don't.
hadn't seen it yet, and I saw it a little bit before you, and I know how excited you were to see this movie. But as soon as I posted, like, hey, this might be one of the best movies I've seen this year, like, people are responding like it's a joke, right? You're kidding, right? Versus the people who have seen it, which were like, fuck yeah,
Wait.
dude.
Have you ever seen Clue? Or Without a Clue? Where there's a
Long
character and
time
she's talking
ago.
about a woman she hates, and she goes, "Flames, flames on the side of my face," and that's how I fucking felt. Just because it's a girly thing with an amazing dance number, it's like, nah, fam, you must be pulling a chain here. It can't be good. Shut up! It's Greta Gerwig.
That I
She
think
made
that's
Little
part of it
Women.
though. Like Greta Gerwig, like she has a great track record with her movies, and actually, this
Oh.
movie made me wanted to go back and see the rest of the movies she's directed.
Mm,
Because I heard Lady Bird, for instance, was amazing. I still haven't seen that
yeah,
yet. Um, but yeah, like if you're paying attention to the movie or like behind the scenes of the movie, like you were, like that's what kind of caught my interest of this movie specifically. Because you were like you were hyped as hell for it, but what my initial idea would be something like, God, I don't know if Jumanji's a fair comparison because
mm.
like that movie was a lot of fun back in the day. Like the more recent Jumanjis, or I literally can't even remember what it was called. That
A little bit
other
more hokey, more family friendly kind of stuff.
like just this blatant we have to turn everything into a movie thing. Battleship.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about. Like that's the
Oh.
prime example
Oh. God.
of like why is this a movie sort of a thing. And
Yeah.
there are a plethora of CG Barbie movies which are exactly what you would
That
expect them to
rip.
be.
It's okay. You can say they rip.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know when I saw one of them. I was like a teenager at the time, or like
Yeah.
late teens or something. And I don't know if we were babysitting. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what the situation was where I saw the movie. I don't even remember what it was called. I don't remember the premise. I just remember I had to sit through it, and I was like, that wasn't bad.
They're they're cute.
Yeah,
They're very cute. And they sell toys, and it's fine. They're
but
they're not obscene. I'd say they're better than a lot of the Disney sequel, like straight to DVD sequel crap.
yeah, but that's also what I mean though. Like, might be this inoffensive whatever thing to just sell more toys because that's
Mm.
I mean, that cynical nature of it, I don't think it is just a pure um hatred against women. There's a element of that as we have seen online. But
Oh, from the baby man.
the baby men who thinks this movie's
One particular baby
anti-men.
man.
Yeah.
One particular like smooth dome baby man.
But like we haven't even talked about the movie itself. We're just talking about like the initial impression of what you would
Mm.
expect from this before the movie even came out. And yeah, like from that perspective of like everything in Hollywood now is just a big expensive commercial. I think that's
Yeah.
part of the reason why a lot of like the blockbusters are starting to tire out as bad as they are. I'm
Mm.
I'm trying to believe in people like understanding that this stuff is just here to just sell crap to kids, and we're getting kind of tired of it, getting kind of sick and tired of
Yeah.
just mediocre garbage. I think that's why Marvel is finally waning in box office, and I haven't seen Indiana Jones yet, but
I feel like because a lot of things, at least from my perspective, they're not made with earnesty. They're not made
yeah,
with like a genuine love of something. Like looking at Barbie, like Margot Robbie produced was a producer on the film. Greta Gerwig, like look at her filmography, this woman knows some shit.
yeah.
Like, and even like I was a little girl that didn't love Barbie. I never my one year my mom tried to tell everyone to get me Barbie stuff, and I did not give a shit. I just played with the Oracle well that came with one of the Barbie. Like my
Oh,
little
I know
sister,
what you're talking
no,
about. I know what you're talking
right?
about. Like when I was a kid,
You
like I
can't
never
afford
like
it. I was like, whoa.
yeah, like I never wanted like a Barbie toy, but every now and then they'd have like I think there was just a time in the '90s, like around Three Wheel or something. There's just a fascination with killer whales. Like it's like
Oh
a
yeah,
super
straight up,
dolphin.
Free Willy and stuff, and we
Yeah, yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
about Blackfish yet.
Yeah, exactly. It was like those are just they're just cool animals. And I was like, oh, I remember
It's like
seeing
a
that because it
dolphin
had
but
like big
badass.
eyelashes and everything.
Yeah. Like,
I still have somewhere. I have a sea turtle with eyelashes. I don't know
oh,
how I
she
obtained it.
slays.
I
Oh,
don't know.
she
Yeah, I
slays.
don't know
That's
how I obtained
hunty.
it. I think I traded with like a friend from school or something where I was like, "Look, you got a Barbie. Do you got that turtle? I want the turtle. I'll trade you for I don't know what the case
You have a
was."
hunty turtle. That's really.
Yeah, I just remember I actively as a little child. I don't even know if I was that little, let's be real. It could have even been like I found it in a
I
thrift
was
store. I don't
24.
know. I don't know. But every now and then I'm this obsessed with turtles, just tangenting for a bit. Like if I see a turtle accessory, as like I want nothing else in this package but that turtle, and I actively sometimes just try and seek them out. And I got the Barbie one. Real proud of myself.
I mean, that's what I think. I don't know. This might be a fever dream, and I might be projecting. I think there might have been a Barbie mermaid movie, and I swear to God, she had like a turtle buddy or something.
I might have to
If
just
not,
look
make
this
that
up.
happen. I'll watch the hell out of that.
There's got to be
There was a
mermaid Barbie
dragon
movies.
one. That one ripped.
There's got to be
But
mermaid
like,
Barbie movies.
anyway, let's put your misogyny to bed. I was in the middle of speaking.
Sorry. Sorry. Oh no, I need to show you this. Oh my god. Hang on. Hang on. Just while we're still talking about turtles.
Oh God, yeah, but
So I see the turtle I'm talking about. Just a plain
right,
generic green sea turtle with eyelashes. But the face that showed up on my Google image search is
yeah.
just terrifying. And I'm gonna put it somewhere in like the thumbnail for this thing. I'll just put it in the background probably. But oh, I said that to a friend instead of you. He's not gonna have any
Ow!
context. He's not gonna have any context.
No, you got it right back. Like, hey,
I'm
bud,
not.
you up?
I'm not. I'm not gonna
Hey,
provide
what you doing?
any context. But you see the
Oh,
image
I
now.
hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate this blue dabba dibba da die bitch. I would fucking no, dude. I would get a 6-pack, the plastic things, and I would wring that fucking thing's neck. It's horrific. I would endangered species. This one bitch. I hate her.
Oh my god.
I'm getting rid of that from our chat. I hate that. Bye.
That's fine. I'm putting it in the background for the thing I'm recording right now because this is
Oh, you
amazing.
suck, dude.
It's so funny. I'm just cursed
That
turtle. Okay,
ET motherfucker.
it is. Yeah, it's really ugly. It is really
You
ugly.
better not have that the whole way. You better put our patron saint Ken in there at some point. But anyway,
We do need to talk about the movie.
misogynist.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
was, and then you started talking about turtles.
that's well, yeah. That's fair. I'm moving the desk. Didn't mean to move the desk. There we go. Okay.
Oh
We'll just
god.
we'll have her covering Sonic since he's not involved with this particular conversation.
Nah, no, I don't like that rat anyway.
There we go.
I've never liked him. He's
Nope,
always been my
definitely
enemy.
not. You know, people are just not going to know you, and they're not going to understand how sarcastic you're being right now.
I worked on that little blue rat. I
Hard.
love him very dearly.
Yeah, you do. You really do.
But when you love something, you hate it in equal measure because that's true love.
That's Sonic fan. That's a Sonic
Yeah,
face.
I'm the oldest one out of everyone. Everyone else, fuck them all. It's me.
Oh my god. All right.
Oh man, but yeah, like I wasn't a Barbie girl. I never was. Like I was a little girl that was like, no, Barbie's dumb. I hate Barbie. No,
Yeah.
pink is stupid. But and now I am a copyright pink thing now as an adult.
Yeah, you've
But
definitely taken that and just you branded yourself hard on that.
oh yeah, I'm full pink panic, pink monster, goblin woman eating pink with my bare hands. But like you can as a girl, like you grew up alongside Barbie in some way, shape, or form. So no
Hmm.
matter what, I'm looking at Greta Gerwig's like filmography, like her philosophy about a lot of stuff. I knew this was going to be an examination of like womanhood, like of being a little girl, and then like reading some of the kind of like the interviews that Greta was doing. And like she said at one point, like there's a little point when you're a little girl and you know who you are and everything's perfect and you're bubbly and you're bright and you're loud, and then all of a sudden you feel people looking at you and you're not enough and you want to retreat inward. I was like, oh fuck, this Barbie movie's gonna rip and it's gonna make me cry. Hell yeah. Um so I kind of had like a little bit of an expectation of what I was gonna get from this film.
Yeah.
Like I also knew I was constantly getting frustrated with some of the talks I was seeing about it. Of like, I don't get it, and this is probably a parody or whatever. It's not like there's heart in here. You can tell like the
Yeah.
earnestness of like how people are talking about it. Like these people loved it, and just because something's camp doesn't mean it's tongue in cheek. It can just be joyful, and this film has camp, and it's great.
Yeah, that's something I actually was comparing to like the MCU. Like a big problem a lot of
Mm.
people have with it now, or the people that are obsessed enough to talk about it, is just like the jarring tonal mixture of like breaking a serious scene up, like just completely ruin it with a dumb joke near the end of it.
Yeah,
And the
not committing to the heart of something.
exactly, and that Barbie goes to both extremes.
Yeah,
It it has these genuinely just beautiful moments just about like literally about emotion,
yeah,
but it
just
also has
aching
yeah,
mournful at points, and then this just uproarious joy of this is life.
yeah, and
I'm
they
a
also have the
doll.
humor like that goes far beyond anything the MCU does. Just
They could never Ken. They could never Ken as hard as Ken
no,
can.
like there's nobody in the MCU that can even compare to Ryan Gosling's Ken, and we'll get into that soon enough. But yeah, so just a quick general thought of the movie because I'm sure we'll have to talk about spoilers, spoiler cast and everything. But I like your description of it. I was trying to think of a nice succinct way of describing this. It is about being a woman. It is about all of that, but I like yeah, it is about womanhood.
Yeah, I think as well. Like, I also don't want to disparage this. Like, yeah, it's absolutely unapologetically about womanhood,
Yeah.
and yeah, like I've seen some of the kind of people that attitudes to the film. And they're like, "What the fuck? This isn't made for me." Yeah, some spaces aren't, guys. I don't know what to tell you, squad. I live in your world, and it's nice to have a space for me. But at the
That's
same
a great
time,
way to
I
describe
also
that. Yeah.
it is like we'll talk about Ken later,
Yeah.
but it's also like it does treat like again, Ken is our male focal point. They do treat him with love too. It it's a again, I guess though, you could also look at it, he went through the kind of like the way a woman goes through the world in reverse, but there is no happy ending. I don't know. Oh God,
Yeah, I want to get
sad.
into I want to get into the I want to get into the
But
man hating
yeah.
like critique. There's like
Oh, don't worry, I got that in spades.
I was gonna say yeah. It's like yeah, like homie, like you're missing the point. Like there's
Yeah, but like it
yeah
is unapologetically about just womanhood and girlhood, and just a feeling of you are enough. You're just enough.
yeah.
You are enough.
We had a really big talk a while back about your perception or how you perceive Amy,
Mm.
and it really transformed my perspective on how I was going to tackle the character, because I've been wanting to talk about her for a long time, because I do that with Sonic characters, obviously, but like getting your perspective on it is such a wildly different take from how I just kind of took a step back and just saw the overall point of like why these developers put her in here, and like her
Mm.
role in this and everything. And the way you painted it was just like holy shit. And then that was just this movie about like
Yeah,
what it means to be a little girl and then having to come to terms with being a woman.
yeah, because you get looked at in two very different ways. Like, and you can see some of it with how people have actually treated the movie. With like, oh, it's pink and dumb, and it's just for girls, so it's not for me. Because if something's for girls, it's not for everyone. Because we're relegated to a different space.
Mm-hmm.
Men's stuff is for everybody. Like, girl stuff isn't that. It's only for girls because it's dumb. And so you're this little thing who isn't taken as very seriously, and you're very charming, you're very cute, and that's all really nice. But then womanhood happens, and you don't really know exactly when it starts. You don't know when it shifted, but you know you're not in the same world anymore. And it's a little bit scary, and it's a little bit unnerving, and you've lost all sense of who you are. So the world has shifted around you. Like, think about Amy. Like, I grew up on a point where liking pink was dumb. Girly things are dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb stuff. And so, I was like, no, I'm not a girl. That's stupid. And I don't like pink. That's dumb. Because being a girl equals being dumb.
That's the thing, right? That's the thing we talked about, and they actually tackle this in the movie too,
Yeah.
where Barbie has such a huge influence on pop culture, this
Hmm.
gargantuan influence. But yeah, like as a little boy growing up, um, yeah, you're meant to see these things that represent women and femininity as weak and
Yeah.
lesser than and stuff like that. It's like you don't want to be girly. You don't want nothing to do with being girly. Never once stopping to think about, yeah, but how do girls feel about that?
Yeah.
You know?
We're already, but we get to a point where we're mixed up. Like, you have the two camps. You either, like, you like pink and you're a girly, but you're dumb because of it. Because why would you like that? That's like antithesis of the masculine stuff, which is cool. But you're expected to be that thing. So that is the box that you're meant to be in. Or you're a girl that goes, you've told me that that stuff is dumb, so I'm not going to like that stuff and I'm going to actively go against it. But I'm not in the box I'm supposed to be in, so I'm othered. So, like, a big part of this movie, there's this big, lovely talk from the mum where just being a fucking woman is a constant within and without. Like, the goalposts are always shifting. Just
Yeah.
they're always shifting, and you'll never catch up.
Yeah. And that's what I liked about the balance of this movie. I've seen some critique about it being like as on the nose as it is with its message. It literally explains it to you more than a few times. And,
Yeah,
and that's part of the meta commentary, because I mean, Barbie itself, like tackling this, Barbie is so huge you can't help but be meta. It's not just
yeah,
about Barbie. It's not just about metaphor. Like Barbie is so big, this franchise has an impact on the real world. And the
yeah,
movie is also about that. Like it's so big,
yeah.
like they can talk shit about Mattel because it's still gonna make them all the money. It's
Of
Barbie.
course.
Like,
Barbie is the quintessential little girl toy. The toy.
yeah,
Like, little boys could have dinosaurs, or they could have, like, a soldier, or whatever the hell. There's a lot of stuff that, but every little girl at some point was given a Barbie because that is the girly toy.
I was talking with my wife about this yesterday or the day before. I don't know what it was. I was just at some, yeah, it's when we had some friends over this weekend. Just went to this little thrift store or something looking for Ninja Turtles because I always am. Like that was my quintessential toy. But I was just looking at the Barbie
What a
stuff,
shock.
and I think it was actually when I was like going to Barbie and like seeing
Mm.
all these women in pink shirts and stuff like that. It was just like,
Yeah.
and like all the accessories, like all the theater accessories. Like
Yep.
I bought Ninja Turtle popcorn thing, and I bought the Ninja Turtle like little pop tops or whatever, like stuff like all the silly little garbage.
Yeah.
You could not get anything for Barbie. All of it
No.
was sold out. It was all sold out, and it just really made me take a step back. It's like, as a toy collector, like I feel like there are certain brands that are just like known for them. Like Ninja Turtles yeah, they do have their other media, and they're known for their other media. But a large part of that is the toy angle of it,
Mm,
and it does not come close to Barbie. There's nothing
no.
that even touches Barbie, like G.I. Joe or Ninja Turtles or any of these other boy centric things. They do not come close to Barbie. Like she's
No.
been around longer. She's set that example, and I've just seen on that front as like a toy dork. Like, how can you not respect that brand on that level?
Absolutely. And seeing where she come from. Like,
Yeah.
I know they said it in a very tongue-in-cheek, kind of funny way about the start of a Barbie in the film, but girls really only had baby dolls. The only thing you could aspire to be would be a mum. That's it. And then they brought this little fashion doll, which has a really interesting, like, read some of the Barbie history books. They're really cool. Like
Mm-hmm.
how Barbie was originally made, or there's like a show called The Toys That Made Us, and they did a Barbie episode, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like, it, she became the quintessential thing for girls. Like, because there was no other option, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and
ugh.
and they tackled all angles because you would think from
Yeah.
that opening scene, which was amazing, by the way,
Oh,
the play on
dude,
Space
I
Odyssey, yeah,
howled, man.
yeah, on
That little
2000
angry
Space
girl with the
Odyssey,
little glasses, I was like, fuck yeah.
that was so good.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, what a cool revolution, and they could have gone forward from there, like with this negative stance on little girls being mom or like motherhood in general. Like
Yeah.
if you were just a simple creature, you could take that scene to mean like,
Why
yeah,
would you
you
wanna
could
be a
be,
mom?
yeah, why would you want to be a
Ew.
mom, right?
Why would you be that instead of the president?
And like they even
Like,
have, we even have one of your favorite dolls in there, and they even treat it weird there
I
too.
oh,
And
I love Mitch.
we'll talk about it, but like
Me too, so bad.
one of the central focal points of this movie, the reason Barbie is on this journey at all, is because of a mother.
Yeah.
They tackle every angle, and it's, and like even
That
like
they
the
didn't
critique of
say.
Barbie, like the point of
Yeah,
her versus the negativity, like
absolutely.
it's so fucking good. It's so
Like,
good.
again, because I was that little girl. I was a very tall girl and broader than a lot of girls. And there was this cute, demure, blonde haired thing. And I was like, nah, fuck you, dude. No, no, I can't be you. So what's the point? And I love that they brought that up, but they came at a place from both angles of like genuine love of women, though, not just Barbie, women. Like, there's a reason you feel like this. You feel this negativity. And there's a reason that you feel this admiration and joy for this doll, too, because both are right. Because being a woman is a contradiction at all times.
Yeah,
Like being a little girl is a contradiction at all times. And both things can be true at the same time. They can. Like, on the one hand, you can say, like, this is a really beautiful film, a love letter to like femininity, and joy and all that stuff. And at the same time, it's trying to sell you a toy. It's doing both.
it's all those
And
things.
that's fine.
Yeah,
Like one side doesn't have to like demean the other.
like it is what it is. If you're not a big fan of capitalism, like, yeah, I mean they talk about it there too. It's like the commentary there's like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but like
That
this,
joke, the fascist joke.
yeah, it's a great.
I don't
Um,
control the railways.
oh god,
Fuck, this film's really funny.
it's really funny.
I haven't laughed so hard at a film in a long
I
time.
haven't either. I really haven't either. I mean, we might as well get into that too. Like full on spoilers, guys. Like if you haven't seen this movie, like this is just kind of a gushing for anybody who has seen the movie, or if you
Please
watched
go
it
see it.
and you didn't get it, or if you don't agree with it, that's, I mean, that's fine. Whatever. If you got it and you don't
Yeah.
agree with it, I I mean, we're probably not going to
Yeah,
have a
it's
lot to
fine.
talk about, I guess. I really like this movie, and the
I thought it
humor
was
was so
beautiful.
good. Yeah,
The humor was great. Nothing prepares you for that last line in the movie.
no, and it's like it was
It's
the best way to end the
perfect.
movie. It was the best way to end the movie.
Perfect. Just
Like just completely, even at the last, even up to the last minute, just pull the rug from under you. It's
but
so
at the
good.
same time, you could examine that last sentence as well and go, oh, it's because she, we're talking about womanhood, the mundanity of womanhood. That's a part of it. And isn't that extraordinary? Like, isn't that
Hmm.
just enough? But I was in a theater, it's completely packed. Like, boys and girls, like, were in pink. Like, four guys, just four dudes sat next to me, and
Hmm.
they were howling. everyone had a great time. I've never really been in a cinema experience really like that. Like, I'm not speaking for the whole of the British public or anything, but we're pretty fucking reserved when we go to the cinema, and folks were
So
howling.
Papa's told me, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, but he's from
But yeah, dude, I mean they explain it in that uh America's the the actor,
Mm,
like they explain that in like in her monologue near the end there, it is about this hypocritical balance. Like this horrible tightrope you have to walk on to be an acceptable woman.
yeah,
And not even a toy can escape that critique.
no,
It is
no,
insane.
not even a an effigy of a woman can get be free from it.
No, and it is it is the whole point of the movie, and it does it. It has
Mm,
all of these extremes, and sometimes they contradict each other. And for most traditional movie making, like point A to point B storytelling, this should not
mhm.
work, and it works. It's incredible.
And I believe because it was done with love. Like
Yeah.
it there isn't a spiteful bone in this film's body.
No.
And
Uh-uh.
the people that say it's a man-hating film, no, it's not. It loves Ken. Like, just go away from it. Talk to anyone who's seen the film and say, "How do you feel about Ken?" People go, "I love Ken." So
Yeah.
you can't tell me it hates men. It doesn't. Like the stuff that goes on with Ken is that men are victims to this awful system that we have too. Like, it's
I
gonna eat all of us.
yeah, I liked how you described it to me. Um there's a lot of there, and like I know like certain dudes are gonna take it like really, really to heart and be offended by it. Where they kind of talk about like um every now and then there's like these little things like you'd expect the movie like more traditionally to wrap it up, be like, we forgive spoilers, Ken does some things. And I do want to get into that too, because a lot of people are like, oh, what do you mean he's the villain? Like, it's not the point. It's the point.
Oh,
But at the same time, while you do
he's big.
find, yeah, while you do understand, like, he is a victim himself, you don't have to forgive him for every stupid thing he's done. You
No,
don't have to give him the girl. You don't have to give him all of your love. You can give him
because forgiveness doesn't
acceptance.
mean you get something in return. It's
Exactly.
enough to just be sorry.
Exactly. Like you can, and there's like scenes there, and they even blatantly say it's like, well, you might think like the perfect ending is like, hey, everything's nice and balanced here, and the Kens and the Barbies have equal say in Barbie Land, and they end up with saying like, well, you know what? When that happens in the real world, we'll consider it here.
Yeah.
you know,
And
but
I'm
you,
sorry,
yeah,
like I've seen people go like, "Oh no, they're both equally as bad." Absolutely not.
nope.
The Barbie Land and the Kendom, they're different. In Barbie Land, Kens could do beach and get ice cream and vibe and shit. And they were pretty inconsequential to the Barbies. The Barbies were just having nice times. In Kendom, they were subservient. The Barbies were subservient. It's not equal. No, no, no. I will not accept that.
No,
Like
it's not.
like I mean, and there wasn't even goddamn horses. So whatever. Sucked.
They do touch on it, like from Ken's perspective, like being here sucks, but the movie's like, yeah, that's real women.
Yeah.
like
Like, do you think that sucks? Do you feel bad that Ken felt sad? Yeah. Maybe look around the real world and see what's happening to just, the ladies.
you
That's real. That's not Barbie Land. We're living it.
you said it best. You said it pitch perfect, which was like, patriarchy is going to kill us all, but it's coming for women first.
Yeah, because, like, did it fulfill Ken? Like, did doing patriarchy in Barbie Land make Ken feel better? No, he was still just as miserable. He still just saw himself as, like, he was nothing without this thing, without Barbie. It didn't save him. The only thing that really helped him get over this fucked up codependency that he has for this person that does loves him as a friend, but it's not enough,
Mm-hmm.
is that he went inside and he went, I'm okay with me. He was Kenna. And I genuinely think that's really lovely and beautiful.
I love that
And
stupid
I'm
sweater.
gonna I'm gonna buy that goddamn bucket hat. I'm gonna wear it till I'm dead, and then they'll bury me with the stupid bucket hat.
The boy, I told you I made it a boys' night. Like I I took my two friends who were visiting from out of town. First time meeting each other, and they got along great. It was precious,
That's the
and
magic of Barbie.
all three of us had a great fucking time watching this movie. Ironically
How
enough,
can you
my wife
not?
could not make it to the movie, but we were like, "Fuck it, we're going anyway." She went to Oppenheimer.
Oh God, don't take her to Oppenheimer, not take her to Barbie. My God, do a date night. Lord above.
I'm gonna buy that movie.
Yeah, but she
I ain't buy.
deserves to see
I'm
Ryan
not. I'm not
Gosling's
buying
dance
Oppenheimer.
number in
Yeah.
like a big mega screen. We all deserve that. Everyone deserves to see Ryan Gosling
I'll
do a
consider it. I'll
dance.
I'll ask her if she actually genuinely would like to go because it was a great movie.
So good.
I
But
gotta
like,
stop my dog from chewing on things real quick.
okay. Hi everybody. How's it going? Please
Stupid dog.
watch Barbie. It's
Okay,
very nice. Perfect.
there we go.
Hey.
Leave it alone, Cricket. Leave everything alone, you horrible little animal. All right, sorry. I have returned.
Oh, we were all waiting on bated breath. We didn't know what to do with ourselves. We almost did a patriarchy. But patriarchy 2, it's way worse.
Knock it off, Cricket. But but yeah, I guess just we could kind of focus up on the performances here because I thought they
Mm.
were everyone was incredible in this movie, and there were a ton of people in this movie, but they perfectly cast Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Pitch
Like,
perfect.
Margot was astounding. I loved her. Like, she can land comedy so good. She
Mm-hmm.
could dance like hell too. And
Yep.
then there's like 3 big emotional scenes I think of, and like my heart breaks thinking just about her face and just the way she holds herself, just like a perfect Barbie. And Ryan Gosling, baby goose. I fucking love him so much. Oh my God, I love him so much.
this
I
is
love him. He's so quotable.
this is bar none my favorite performance he's ever done.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I watched Drive and I'm like, yeah, Ryan Gosling is me. Oh my God, I'm Ryan Gosling. But this, I'm just like, I'm ready to leave my husband and just marry Ken. Not Ryan Gosling, but Ken. I'm so ready. I love Ken. He's
Even with all of
wonderful.
his faults, like you love that goofy himbo. He's just
Because it
incredible.
wasn't done with malice. The faults that he had wasn't done with malice. Like, he didn't. He's just a baby. And he was sad. And like a lot of men, he didn't know how to process his feelings and he acted out instead of going through it in a holistic way. And horses. But
There's so many quotes. Be completely honest. After I learned patriarchy had nothing to do with horses, I lost interest.
oh, he's just
But like even
when he's
that
like
simple
when
creature.
Barbie's saying something to him and then he flexes his muscle like, yeah, what's up? So I will be your girlfriend. Give me a minute to think about it. And he goes behind a wall and just goes, sublime! I'm like, yeah, my
I hate that I'm
boyfriend.
such a simple creature. Like I got it. It was like with nothing to do with horses. Like you put turtles in there. Like legit, that's how I
Oh
went through life.
God.
I would
Gonna do
watch
a
things.
patriarchy if there was turtles?
I mean, come on. Like
You're
I
problematic.
look
I'm
at
gonna
the.
cancel you on
I am
X.
problematic, but like look at. I am that simple of a creature though. Like there's pink and all the simple. Like you put green turtles, I'm good. Like
Hey,
I'm
bud,
that simple of a creature. I
bud,
get it. What?
you're a Ken.
Oh no.
Simple creature Ken.
I'm Knuff. All right. I'm
I can do beach.
Knuff.
My job is beach. And you're on the beach looking for fucking turtles.
I mean, let's be real. I've done that every beach I've ever been to. No,
Fucking Ken.
even the times I knowing full well like this is not the environment for laying eggs.
But wouldn't it be nice if there was a turtle? Could you imagine? What a good day we'd have. Oh, fucking Ken.
I do. I do get friends that just send me photos of turtles. Like you've done this for me too. And I'm
Yeah.
like if I'm holding my phone, I will sometimes clap with my phone in my hand.
Shut up.
I've done it before.
Shut
Like
up.
yeah. Oh no. Oh
I'll
god.
see you on the Malibu beach, you fucking Ken. God.
Oh
Jesus.
god.
But
Um,
like also the other Ken, oh, what's his name? She can't remember his
yeah, I
name.
have to look it up. I don't know off the
He
top.
is fucking phenomenal, and their little like bro
This boy's
rivalry.
time to shine after
So
Shang
good.
Chi, and now this.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
dude, oh, like he's
He's
super
so good.
charming. It's the dude's time to shine.
He was
Absolutely.
phenomenal. And the fact they have a fight, those two Kens, about like backflips. It's like little boys.
It
It's
is.
amazing.
Oh
So
god.
good.
Like we're talking about all
Oh,
the broader themes and like the
yeah.
portrayals and everything. I do have to say though, like even at the very start, like from the get go, I've seen a lot of this. Like my buddy Connor, like even responded to one of the tweets I made. He was just like, I 10 minutes in, I had no idea where this was going, but I was in
Yeah.
because it was incredible.
Like it was wonderful. And like I know that I'm normally a little bit sassy and a bit bitey with people because that's how I show my love.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sassy Barbie,
You're
but
tweet.
I
You're tweet.
am.
I am depressed, Barbie. I don't know what you said. It
Oh,
was.
I am so like I'm depressed Barbie. I'm depressed Barbie. I'm led face down in a swamp Barbie. I'm a fella Barbie.
Hello,
That's
Barbie.
who I am. That's the Barbie for me, baby.
Oh
I'm
my
that
god,
Barbie.
that's so good.
But do go with an open mind. I think there's something for everybody here. You can't say no to seeing that dance choreography. You can't say no to seeing like Ryan Gosling in
It's
a black
good.
getup doing dance. He's great.
It's really good. The dance numbers are great. The music's great. The th-
The
the
soundtrack
third eye
as a
blind,
whole.
that was hysterical.
Oh my god.
That was
And oh my
amazing.
god, I love the way that they move like Barbies and like if you're playing with dolls in Barbie Land. Like when Ken runs up to the surf and he bounces off of it and he's swinging in the air like,
Yeah,
whoa!
yeah, yeah.
That's how you would play with a doll. It's so good.
I know we
It's
watched the
wonderful.
behind the scenes stuff. This is kind of why I don't like behind the scenes stuff that much because they explain to you like, hey, you don't you don't walk the Barbie down the stairs. Like there's a slide, you'll slide her, but like you'll just pick her up from the roof and put
Yeah.
her down. There were times I didn't like it being as blatantly explained as it was. Like there were really funny times. Um, I'm just gonna talk about my favorite scene real quick. Because I watched Cosmonaut's review on the movie real
Mhm.
quick, and as usual, he was like, "It was okay. It wasn't great." Whatever. There's one
Oh.
critique he had that
Mhm.
I don't completely disagree with.
Mm.
I do think it would have kind of taken me out of the movie because as meta as it was, I feel like it needed to be as blatant and blunt as it was.
Mm.
But he was like, I mean, like they kind of over explain a lot of their points a bit too much. And like his favorite scene, which is my favorite scene too, and this was almost like a producer tried to get this cut from the movie, was
Mm.
Barbie taken in the real world in all of its splendor, of all the this misery, the sadness she's never seen before, but also in this quiet, beautiful, I don't know, like wind and nature, just every little detail, just taking in the real world silently, and looks over and sees this old woman and just says, "You're beautiful." I teared up. I just immediately teared up. And then
Yeah.
the old woman just turns back and goes, "I know," and they just laugh, and it's a beautiful little scene. It's absolutely beautiful. But that's what it means. It's like just like how well that scene is explaining everything without saying a single thing outside of "you're beautiful." Like those two words just say so much without saying anything else. So I get it on
Absolutely.
that level. But
Yeah.
those other extremes
Fair
that they
enough.
go into, those meta things, I didn't hate a single one of those jokes.
What do you mean?
Well, like they blatantly like so like the big monologue at the end, like just explain how tough it is to be a woman, or um
Mhm.
God, like there are so many examples and I'm spacing on all of them. Or they're literally explaining like what this doll is supposed to be, or like um my favorite of these, because it starts
Mm.
off as like just read into what this scene is showing you, which is like when she meets her creator for the first time. just
Yeah.
randomly in the middle of this silly chase. Just sits down and
Yeah.
has a conversation with her. And then the end of the movie, just comes back, and that did feel a little bit too on the nose when she's like literally explaining like, "Oh, I'm your creator. You're based off my daughter. You're named after my daughter." Like they fully explain all that. That would have been a bit too corny and a bit too much for me in lesser movies. But then Will Ferrell just says her ghost has an office on the 17th floor. It made everything for me. It made everything for
And
me. I was in tears. I don't know why, but that one joke, just how casually that old scene was, that they brought it back. It's like, oh yeah, no, she's just there. She just works at a
yeah,
hotel. It's amazing.
like my thing was like, are we gonna talk about how Ruth died like a couple of years ago? Are we gonna talk about that? I also realized they mentioned about her tax evasion. I
Yeah,
like that they saw this as a she wasn't this godlike figure of she's perfect because she wasn't, because that's the whole point of the film. The real women aren't perfect. That's enough because you are enough. I personally liked that stuff because I saw it as somebody telling me something that they don't. Like I feel like I was being talked to me. It wasn't Barbie at that point. Barbie was the doll. It was talking to me that I don't need permission. That I don't need someone to tell me why I am and what I'm not. Telling me that I'm okay. And I can see it from point of view of like whoever thought that could be a bit too much and whatever, but me speaking personally, like losing my hat of let's look at this objectively, it was healing and cathartic to go, yeah, okay, maybe I am all right.
yeah.
This is for me because the Barbie's the doll, and like Barbie goes through existential crisis because someone's playing with her and putting themselves into her. Like I'm watching the movie, I'm playing with Barbie, and my feelings are on Barbie now. And this woman is telling me you're okay, and that was really cathartic for me personally.
And that's kind of where I feel like that's where the movie finally is like, yeah, okay, even if you're not a girl or you don't identify as a woman or anything like that, like they stripped it away as like these are just words because we're all scared,
Yeah,
but it's okay to be scared. Like we just put up
yeah,
these barriers, we put up these barriers between genders, or we the patriarchy, or like she's like patriarchy, or like these are just words. They're just
mhm,
words. And we make these words to try and get some semblance of control on this crazy scary journey that is life.
yeah,
And at the end of the day, like Barbie is about being a woman, and at the end of the day a woman is just another human being. I don't know,
yeah.
it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
And we're all trying our best, and we're all fucking up. But 9 times out of 10, we're not doing it with malice. We're not. When things are normally can be prescribed as malice, is normally fear.
Yeah. I it's at the start of the movie too, like I was talking about it a little bit. They don't spend that long in the over the top surrealism of
Mm.
that perspective, but it's
Yeah,
really, 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 really good. It's
I did
really
like that it
funny.
came back in when they went to the Mattel offices, though.
Yeah.
Like they make a real point of Barbie Land is like I don't know a Hollywood
The,
set from like
yeah.
the Golden Age or something,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
then you got the real world that's really real. Like I could almost smell that fucking broad walk.
It was
And then you go
so
to the
funny.
Mattel offices, and it's like a cockamamie place again,
Yeah.
which I really like. I really liked. And I'm one of those people that really like the chase scene where I was just going, "The fuck are they all doing? This song bops." I liked it.
Yeah. I don't think the surrealism is like a mask to get away with really out there storytelling. I really do think they balanced it all together. But they are,
Hmm.
and they do great more meta humor in terms of like when they go to the I was like, so is Barbie Land like a different dimension or something? Is it this or this? And they just all say yes.
Yeah,
Don't focus on that. You
yeah.
hyperfixating nerds. This does not
You.
matter.
This is not the MCU. Shut your damn mouth.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to Barbie Land. Chill.
And we'll talk about potential future franchise stuff in a little bit, because that did remind me talking about the MCU again. But like the stuff we saw in the behind the scenes thing, and they do fo- focus up on it here, but like it looks like a genuine large Barbie playset that these actors can
Yeah.
actually interact with. Like the sticker I mean, like the first time I saw the sticker in the fridge just killed me. It absolutely killed me.
So good.
It was
And I love the whole thing that there's no
amazing.
elements in Barbie Land. There is no water. There's no whatever. Like going into the shower and it's all play pretend. I loved it. What a lovely little thing to do.
I don't think it's just. I mean, like I do think Margot deserves. Like, if we're gonna be, I don't care about the Academy Awards. I genuinely don't. But like, if we're gonna have like a genuine conversation about like Best Actor, Oppenheimer's gonna have crap all over the place because it's a good movie and it has a lot of Christopher Nolan in it, but it is a very traditional. This is going to get a
Nolan.
lot of awards kind of
Yeah.
movie. Like this
Yeah.
is award bait kind of shit. But like, you
Mhm.
actually want to be courageous about that conversation. Like, Margot absolutely deserves, at the very least, a nod for Best Actor.
Oh, 100%. How she can balance like I'm smiling in my pink Corvette, but also I'm in the middle of having an existential crisis, and oh my god, death. Like no, she sold that.
She sold like it does feel like a doll, but doesn't, like you said, like this doesn't feel like parody. This feels earnest. It feels like she is genuinely playing the Barbie at the beginning there, but also you can see, or she just can convey it very well. Like there was a love to, I don't know. I feel like that set kind of helped accentuate like playing with dolls and the joy
Yeah.
of playing with dolls. And it looked like she
Yeah.
was just having so much fun being there and doing this. And like, I know the conversation's all over the place, but who cares? This is for spoilers. This is for after you've seen the movie. The Ken does have some growth, like for
He
sure.
does.
But Barbie's arc in this movie was phenomenal to me. It was
Hmm.
absolutely phenomenal because she doesn't go back to just happy go lucky or anything. There is this inherent sadness that gets instilled to her, and she doesn't know how to handle it at first, and she has breakdowns and everything. But by the end of the movie, that sadness does not leave. It is there. It
No.
is a part of her, and she doesn't even learn to live with it. She fully embraces all of it. She talks about it sometimes like I discovered this thing called crying, and it's kind of ruled.
Yeah. Like when she's talking to Ken, because Ken doesn't understand his feelings, and that's. I want to come back to what you just said in a second, but there's one bit that I felt like Greta Gerwig came out of the stairwell of the cinema. She came up to me personally and punched me in the fucking chest,
Yeah.
and then she followed me for about 15 minutes. So
Yeah.
thanks, Greta. I love you very much. Please do that again as soon as you can. When like it they've beaten the Kendom and Ken is bereft and he's crying on the bed and all that stuff. And like Ken's taken everything from Barbie. Like this person that she loved. Like she doesn't love him in a romantic way, but that's still her friend. It's a Ken, you know? Like they're friends.
Yeah.
And he took everything. And Barbie apologizes to him.
She
That fucked me up.
yeah,
She apologized to him and she helped guide him through it, also self-actualizing herself.
yep.
And I just thought that is the most fucking feminine thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, that's a
When
good
someone
point.
hurts you and you go, I'm sorry, how can I help? And I just thought that was really beautiful. Like, I needed to talk about that because that scene's been in my head a bit.
Yeah.
And from doing that, Ken started to realize his own worth.
Yeah.
I don't know. That fucked me up.
Cuz
I
like
loved it.
yeah, like she understands where he's coming from, but like it's yeah, like the way he reacted to her, like yeah, he did feel like an afterthought. He did feel mistreated, and like on a lot of levels, yeah, like his feelings weren't accounted
He
for.
was.
That's
Yeah,
a
and he
hundred
was.
percent. But the way he responded, like yeah, like
Too
what he
much. Bit
took in
OTT.
return, the what he took in return, like does not compare.
No,
It was way more extreme, and
totally.
I like that they take the moment to say like, hey, you don't need to give him everything. Like he did all this bad
No.
shit, and it's okay to just call him out for that.
And Ken, it's okay you don't have all the things.
Yeah,
It's all right. It's just okay. You don't need other things to make you feel important. You just being you is enough, even though there's like Ken dolls that are still available and all the Margot Robbie ones have been sold, so I don't know about that. But I like Ken. I'll buy the Ken. Um, yeah,
You
like
know they're gonna get like, I mean, the sweater's cool, but
I
like I would
pre-ordered.
consider getting a Ken doll that has that stupid thing on him.
Oh, there's beach Ken available. I'd get like Ken in the mink fur coat with like the fanny pack saying Ken.
Yeah,
I love that Ken a lot.
those figures have to be coming. They absolutely have. Like feel like they're waiting. Like they are giving you
I
like what you'd expect out of the box, like what they present at the beginning of the movie. Those are
yeah.
literally the toys on sale right now, and
I
and
love that they called out like long hair Barbie. I love long hair Barbie. That's the most best-selling Barbie doll of all time, and they put her in. I'm like, yeah, bitch, go off.
so
Oh, and magic earring Ken, which they also called cock ring Ken.
let's get more into that sort of stuff now, because we were talking about the bigger themes and how they resonated and
Yeah,
how good
yeah.
they are, but like that's, while those are their overall tones and the feelings of the movie, like the rest of it is still great. Like the humor is on point, acting is
Mm-hmm.
fantastic. We'll probably have to get into like
Soundtrack,
the subtle
like,
ones. Yeah, the
holy
soundtrack.
shit.
Um, the styling,
Mhm.
incredible, absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
pristine. Like the vintage Barbie stuff that's on on show. Like Rollerblade Barbie is an actual Barbie you can get. It rips. Like that has been like homaged by multiple people. Like Trixie Mattel, the rollerblade Barbie from one of her entries in Drag Race and stuff. It's a loved doll. Long hair Barbie, the best-selling Barbie doll of all time. Like like
Which one's long haired
it's a
Barbie?
nerd. A long hair Barbie, like when they're turning, like at the start of the film, they're saying about all the different Barbies you can have. Long hair Barbie was this Barbie with long, like hair down to her feet that was crimped, and that is like I still think it's the best-selling Barbie doll of all time because something that girls, well, all genders like to do, but you see a lot with little girls, they do something called hair play, like to brush the hair, style the hair. Like sometimes they wear Barbie the hair, like cutting it. But that's the best-selling one, and I think her companion Ken was Magic Earring Ken that everyone started to call Cock Ring Ken because of the little kind of like the ring around his chest.
Sugar Daddy Ken.
Sugar Daddy Ken is an actual doll too, but it's for the collector's market, and the real name is Sugar's Daddy Ken. The little dog is called Sugar, so it's Sugar's daddy Ken, but I don't call it Sugar Daddy Ken,
I
which I
love
want.
the
I love that
extra.
doll.
Let's talk about your favorite. You've told me about her before, and I was
Oh, I'm
actually,
trying not to scream.
I, because of your excitement from a previous conversation we had, I was like, oh my god. Like as soon as I saw her, I'm like, oh, we're gonna go deep. We're they're picking apart every little bit of this toy line to do something special. Do you want to talk about Midge?
I love Midge. I love Midge. Oh my god, it's amazing. I love why it was cancelled. I love Midge. I want a Midge doll, but some fucker had to make a fucking film and have Midge in it, so it's really hard to find Midge dolls now. But I want one. Midge is the pregnant Barbie doll, who isn't Barbie because God forbid Barbie get pregnant. Absolutely not. That Barbie's above such petty things like banging it out. That Barbie don't. But Midge is pregnant, and if you see the toy, you can take the cap of her tummy off, and there's an actual little baby in there. You take the baby out
In the fetal position too, isn't it?
in the fetal position, as fetal as a baby doll can be, that doesn't have articulated kneecaps. It's amazing. It's an amazing toy, and it got cancelled because people went. And I'm just saying, certain type of people went. I don't see a ring on that doll's finger.
is
What's
that
going on there?
that real?
100%. They said, she's not married. This is doing teenage pregnancy. What's this about? What are you trying to indoctrinate to my children? Like, fam, when you get pregnant, your extremities blow up sometimes, and sometimes you're not going to get a wedding ring off. Also, I don't mean to shock anybody, but you don't need to like be married to have a kid. Shocking, I know, but it happens. So that's why she was originally cancelled. They re-released Midge, but they put a cardboard cutout of a man in the back of like the so it's like, nah, fam. Midge is decent. Midge would
Oh
never.
my
No
god.
way. And they put a wedding ring on her, and then they just was like, nah, fam, maybe this is too much. Let's just cancel the doll. But there was also that other Barbie of growing Barbie, where she would go through puberty and her boobs would get bigger. I
Wasn't
also want that
Didn't they say
Barbie.
that was Stacy?
Oh, was it Stacy? No,
Yeah.
yeah. So it wasn't Barbie because Barbie cannot be anything like that.
Yep.
Like Barbie is the pristine doll, but it was her sister Stacy, and I want that goddamn doll. I want Stacy and I want Midge. I want basically the biological weird crap Barbie shit. I want that. And also Magic Rinkin because slay,
I
slay.
love that they went out of their way in the credits to be like, no, they were real. We weren't kidding.
Yeah, 100%.
They weren't.
Like,
These were all real toys. We did not fuck up. They didn't have to make up any of them. They didn't have to go over the top and bullshit anybody. These were real toys.
and like celebrate the history of this weird goddamn product.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like the pooping dog thing. I remember the pooping dog. I can't believe that's there. I would have lost my mind if they had the goddamn orca or the color changing Barbie. I would have lost my damn mind. There's also like color hair change Barbie. It's like, whoa, she goes underwater and her hair changes color. Like, fuck, that's so sick, yo. Damn.
I
I
knew
was a
that
little bit
pooping
bummed
dog.
out they didn't have Skipper. I'm like, hell yeah.
I was actually gonna say like I mean I am not a Barbie fan or anything. Like I didn't know anything about the
It's
franchise,
okay. You can
but
come out now as a Barbie stan. It's fine.
but like the it's just so overwhelming. Like
Mm,
there's cultural osmosis with Barbie. So I
yeah.
mean there's toys there like I recognize. I remember Poopin' Dog and all that.
Oh,
And when they were
like,
showing some of the branding, I was like, oh, that's some of the '90s shit. I remember that.
yeah,
But Skipper, I know the name Skipper, and
yeah.
I was like, I did notice there is no Skipper here. And then they talked about she she predates Barbie as opposed to like, going into the real world and then tries to babysit kids.
But what about all the Allens escaping and becoming NSYNC?
That was so good. That was
I was just
so
like,
funny.
we need to talk a little bit about Alan.
Yeah,
Alan Rip.
absolutely. I gotta tell you, I did not expect Michael Cera to be that good. I mean,
I
they fit
mean,
him
it's
into
Michael
the
Cera
role.
though.
Like that's his
He's
role.
awkward energy at all
Yeah,
points.
yeah, that's his role for anything he's in. But they
Yeah,
slotted him in so well. It
yeah,
just this nervous, anxious. Like I'm not here for any of this. It like no, I've 100% with the Barbies the whole time. It's not a
yeah.
simping thing. Like no, they just
I want to vibe and make waffles and shit.
yeah
We don't have horses. I don't want to do this. I don't want to
yeah.
do this with the kids.
And he's just this nice reminder. Like not all men are Kens. We're not saying all men are Kens.
No. Like there are some boys that, and I kind of read them as a little bit queer coded because, a lot
Yeah
of
yeah
like
yeah.
queer
Absolutely.
boys, the patriarchy doesn't work for them either. Like, they're told feminine and you're lesser and you're less manly or whatever, and it hurts them.
Yeah
And I see him very much like that. And it's like the process that happens to the Kens is that like I was a little girl that had a lot of like boy friends. I didn't get on super well with the girls because I was weird and I really fucking like dragons and like "Rawr, I'm a raptor now or some shit. So I didn't get off with those girls very well. But it's sad because you do come to a point as a little girl where if you have any like little boy friends, something starts to change in them and they look at you different. You're like, oh fuck, okay. What? You don't feel as safe. But Alan's like that one friend that you have who's like still cool. And you're like, oh, okay, I can still be like me around you. There's no masks. And so I'm an Alan stan. I love Alan. And I get I don't know if I watched the same movie as a lot of people that were complaining about Alan, going like, "Oh, the one good one is very effeminate, and he's just like whatever, and he hates you ever can." Like they just want us all to be gay or emasculated or whatever. And it's like he beat up like 8 construction workers. Fucking Alan ripped off. I don't know if we watched the same movie, dude.
Well, I think that's what they're saying though. He's like supposed to be superior to the Kens or something like that. Like I don't think that was the point. I think the movie is saying like, yes, there are these gender norms, there are these gender roles. We didn't make them. They're
Yeah,
here. We need to talk about it, and we're not excluding anybody. And that's, I
and
mean,
we're all harmed from it,
yeah,
but we all have a choice of do we perpetuate this or do we move on?
yeah,
Do we try to do we try to strive to some further imperfect world where we can at least be a little bit more together?
yeah. It's meant to be a bit introspective on humanity
Yeah.
in general because
Yeah.
Barbie's had a huge impact on it, and it's taking account. This movie's kind of taking accountability for that on a lot of levels,
Mm.
but it's also kind of dispelling a lot of bullshit as well. I don't think
Yeah.
they ever try to hide. I like that Mattel's on blast as it is, and again, Mattel and Barbie's as big as it is. Like they don't care. Either Greta Gerwig has enough sway to let. I don't know. There are a couple times like I cannot believe they allowed this movie to come out and talk this
I
much
think
shit.
it was like in production hell for a long time too.
Oh
But for a
yeah,
few, they were like, "Please just get the Barbie movie out, please." I want to believe that, but they were just tired.
maybe, but they were allowed to get a bit courageous
Yeah.
there. They don't skip away from the 'cause Will Ferrell. Like again, it's kind of weirdly like it's dolls that represent entire genders or
Yeah. Yeah.
jobs or anything like that, and they
Yeah.
talk about all that. At the same time, there are still layers to a lot of these characters. Like Will Ferrell is a very Will Ferrell character in this movie, but like at first they set him up to be like, oh, he's gonna clearly be the villain,
Yeah.
and at first I thought that was a bit courageous to allow Mattel to do that, but near the
Yeah.
end, he's like, he's not perfect. Like there's a lot more
No.
good to him, but he's not perfect, and they don't solve all the issues
He's
that they're
trying
setting up here. They're
to stay
not
in a
saying
status
like,
quo.
oh, Mattel's now run by women. It's saying no, there are problems. They're just
Yeah.
problems. They're
It's
there.
problems, and I think the worst thing you could say, and I think it's a pretty bad one because the status quo isn't working for us, is that Will Ferrell's trying to maintain the status quo, put Barbie back in the box. It's too complicated and ugly to deal with, so
Mm-hmm.
let's just put it away. Like again, like I don't feel that any one thing is villainized in this film. It's just we need to look at it. We can do better than
It's
this. Like,
just
yeah, why aren't
honest.
there women on the bloody board? Feels weird. It's a girl's toy. Like,
Yeah.
why not? But it's not personally going like, oh yeah, all these men totally conspire like that, and they're also going to kill women at it. You know, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
And that's where I disagreed with Cosmonaut in terms of like, or just so blatant with their messaging. No, dude, I think they're just honest. I think there's just times they're just flat out
Yeah,
honest.
I
And that's that
I
earnesty coming. It's the other side of that earnesty, right? Like, not only is there like a genuine love for the Barbie toy, but like we're earnest in this message as well.
I would like to question why is blatancy wrong in this point? Because yeah, it's blatant and we live this all the time, but nothing gets done. Progress is very slow. So what's the harm of going, sucks, huh? And also, I'm reading this film as like it was produced by a woman, directed by a woman, it is unabashedly feminine,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going like, yeah, like women and like women, like people who identify as women, we see you. Yeah, it's hard. And this is cathartic. I don't think there's anything wrong with blatancy. And I think it would do a disservice to the topic to be all very subterfuge and subtle. This is not a subtle thing. Like,
No.
a lot of us live our lives with this mallet constantly coming down.
Yeah, Barbie's not a subtle thing. It's loud, it's pink,
Oh,
and nothing about this movie should be subtle. I think that one
no.
scene with the old woman, it was beautiful and it was powerful, and I think that was that linchpin in there.
Yeah.
But the entire movie is not that. It is all those other things, and I think it hit all of it very well. I,
Yeah. Like, I love that scene. I think it's beautiful because it was a moment, because it was the point where Barbie was becoming real and she was realizing it without truly realizing it, that this is life and life is worth it. All that sorrow, all that heartache, aging, whatever, is all worth it for those moments of laughter, for all these things, for the breeze, like to feel the breeze, all these things. It's worth that. I think it's important to have that breathing room, to have that like mouth space.
yeah,
But at the same time, like you said, Barbie's bright and pink, and so be it's like being a little girl. Be loud and be unabashed about it. Why the hell not? Like as a I'm gonna keep bringing it back to it. As a woman, you're meant to be a lot smaller. Don't take up so much space. Don't be too much. Don't be this. Don't be that. Fuck it. Be that for a minute. Why not?
yeah,
Like say the quiet bit out loud. Like everything needs to be like, oh yeah, I'm feeling like this, but at the same time I'm okay. Don't worry about it. No. Do it be big. Do a dance number out of it too. Fuck it.
yeah. Barbie's meant to be all these things, and not all those things are pretty. It's just,
Yeah.
and even the main character, she's not perfect. She's not always right. She's allowed to be ugly in her own ways. Like she has a breakdown after the Kens take over,
Mhm.
and she's like, I don't want to be this. Like she blames God, I forget the human characters' names. As
Yeah.
central as they are, she's like, I don't want to be this. Why did you make me like this? And
Yep.
just lays flat, defeated on the floor in an existential
Becomes a
crisis.
doll again.
Yeah.
Like when you're done playing with a doll, you just drop it.
Yeah, literally just flat on the face too,
Yeah.
right? And you're
Yeah.
the one that pointed that out to me. Like that's somehow weirdly mixed in there. Like, so it's just the attention to detail is so good.
Right.
But like Ryan Gosling, like that, you told me, like, I guess you tell the story because you had to tell me it. And I was like, all right, I'm sold. Before the movie came out,
Wait, what bit?
his daughter's Ken doll.
Oh my god. So like Greta and Robbie, because like I've said, Robbie is a producer. Greta directs. Gonna keep saying it,
Mm.
but they deserve their fucking flowers. Um, they sent the script to Ryan to be like, Ryan, please. And Ryan Gosling was like watching his daughters play with like their Barbies, and he took a photo of a Ken laying face down in the ground with a squished lemon next to him, and took a photo and sent it to Gregory, going, "I will be your Ken. This story must be told."
And
Like,
it is that story.
it is. Nobody cares about Ken. And when people are like, "Oh, he's too old to play Ken," he's like, "You never cared about Ken. No one ever fucked with Ken. You didn't care about Ken before this." And he's right. No one cared about Ken.
He's 100%. Like he
Like,
not
oh,
only
now you care about Ken?
he's as funny as he is, and like Godspeed. This is why the writer strike. Like, pay your writers, pay your
Oh my
creatives.
god, yeah.
You would not get a movie this good without them. Let's not disregard them whatsoever. And I fear any movie being created right now without their help.
Mhm.
Be
Mhm.
wary of anything. You guys are in for garbage shit media in the next
Absolutely.
few years. But
Absolute dumb juice.
but Ken, I this is how bad it was. I meant to say Ryan. Ryan Gosling. He's as
As he puts it,
funny.
he's still on that roller coaster of Ken. He doesn't want to get off, so
Yeah,
the lines
he
are
gets
blurred.
it. He gets it. Like there's a passion in that performance.
Yeah.
Like he fucking gets it. And man, they both worked for exactly what they were meant to do in that movie.
Oh, totally. Totally.
And
Like
they're gonna sell more Kens. Maybe not the generic beach Ken, but like if they get like I'm Kenough, that's selling out. I don't care.
they also have a mug saying Kenergy, and
Yeah.
like I've been going around like doing whatever stuff I need to do, just going, "Can you feel the Kenergy?" Just fuck yeah.
Dude, I need to do like when I get to clean. I get some cleaning done here this afternoon. More Bill stuff, whatever. Adult life. I am genuinely, because
The
we've been
Kenergy
talking about
block.
it. I'm gonna put on the Barbie soundtrack because after you were telling me about it, it's like, yeah, I gotta listen to
Oh,
it.
dude, I've been listening to it nonstop. Lizzo's like opening number,
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal. Lizzo ripped. There's another track on the soundtrack I love called oh, was it kind of like like Speed Drive?
Mm-hmm.
It's when they're in the Mattel offices and they're running around. It just feels like a real cool like dance track, like from the 90s.
Yeah, it's really good.
Um,
It's all really
there's
good.
one called Choose Your Fire, which thank you to Ava Max. You made that song just for me. Love that. Thank you. You didn't need to do that, but choose. Um, but I need to talk about the Billie Eilish song for this
Yeah,
fucking
you do.
film. Holy fuck, what an achingly beautiful song. Like played at the moment, like at the end of the film, where Barbie is being shown womanhood from Ruth. Like Ruth says something really beautiful, like mothers stand still so their daughters can see how far they've come, and it fucked me up.
Yeah, me too. It
Like
really did.
like and I before I go on with the Billie Eilish song, I want to say like
I
I
got
love
that.
that they didn't kind of like go on about like motherhood is bad or this is bad. It's
No,
just
you
it's
look at the start of the movie and you look
beautiful.
at the end of the movie, and they're
Yeah,
like,
all these pictures of like
being a
maybe
mom is
women
such a
crying
wonderful
or
thing. Oh God, I'm gonna cry thinking about
yeah,
it. So good.
like you made something beautiful and you're gonna take that forward and it's Barbie, it's make believe, and it's a creative space, and you've created another human being. Everything about womanhood should be celebrated and adored because it just being there is enough. And just like being a mum is nothing negative. You don't need to be extraordinary. Just fucking being is amazing. That you've got air in your lungs is amazing. And just Billy's like song over the top, like holy fuck. Like the lyrics are beautiful. Like there's like bits where he goes, "Look so alive, turns out I'm not real, just something you paid for. What was I made for?" And then like the last lyrics of it, she's going through and she's like, "Oh, it's so fucking ugh." Like she says like something like, "Don't tell my boyfriend, I'm sad again. It's not what he's made for." So it's this again, this loneliness of keeping it inside, like be pretty, be nice, don't let anyone know what's going on, because oh my god. But then the end is like, I think I forgot how to be happy. Something I'm not, but something I can be. Something I'll wait for. And it's like,
No.
so beautiful. Like, just the love in this film from the soundtrack to everything. Billy's song is aching, and it's perfect for that scene of just living life and getting older and all that stuff that comes with it because you're guaranteed heartbreak and hurt and all this shit. But there's so much good in it too. I
And
love
there's
this film.
even good in that sadness.
Yeah, because like again, like I look at how that sadness of when Ken, like it's pretty funny, but it's really sad when he just goes, "It's Barbie and Ken." Like he doesn't realize he can be just Ken.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but then being sad together, they finally go on to an even kill and they see each other eye to eye. And he's the first one to wave her off. He's the first one to know that what Barbie's gonna do, which is she's gonna go live a life now. And he's the one who goes and that fucking wave is really funny as well. It's like a heartbreaking thing. It's just the way they're all waving. It's just the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just beautiful. Just beautiful.
It's a wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, that last
Oh,
scene. I actually
oh
wanted to get into
God.
that a little bit too. I saw that as like I feel like that's kind of how my wife wants me to kind of handle. So the way she gets me gifts, right?
Hmm.
She's told me flat out many times, a long time ago. She's like, I'm not buying you action figures. You'll get them for yourself anyway. Like you will buy this crap
Yeah.
before I even have a chance. I'm not buying you action figures. I will
Mm.
celebrate you, but we're
Mm.
gonna have a bit of class with your nerdiness because you need a little more class with it. So it'll be like so I don't get like a plastic dinosaur. I instead have this bronze little raptor statue. Or like in the
Yeah.
other room we have like because she has her own weird that she loves too, but like we have like this autopsy compsognathus which looks just
Mhm.
really cool. Like that's what she means. Like that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Or like a watch or something where it's like or my shoes for instance, like these nice like subtle olive green shoes, but there's like a little turtle on the back of it, that kind of a thing. And that's immediately what I thought of when I saw Barbie. Like she is ready for the real world and she's like downplayed all that loud craziness, but it's still on her and it looks really nice. It's like it's downplaying a lot of that loudness, but like there's still pink on her. And I didn't know
Yeah.
if like do you feel like that's did you take that to mean like she's subduing herself too much or like she's finding this balance like I'm now a bit more acceptable in this real modern world as a human being, but I can still express myself. Like I found a do you think that's like a negative thing or like that's like a good balance or I don't know. Just that her outfit alone
Mm.
got me
I
thinking
think
about
it's
all
a
that.
thing. I think it's a thing, and I think it's her choice. Because I'm coming from a place of I was a little girl that hid away. I wore nothing but black and hid. And I've
Mm-hmm.
gone to a point where I'm like, I got a fucking holographic fucking heart-shaped choker. I'll wear that outside. I'll dye my
Sure.
hair fucking pink. I'm gonna vibe out. Because that's my path. I think as long as you're just doing what makes you feel comfortable, be damned to the rest of everything else. Like, that's the point. Like, one of the songs in the soundtrack says, you wear bright pink or you wear black, it doesn't matter, pop off, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like that's what she's chosen. I think it's about the choice of it. Um, it's about how you're going to reclaim your space. And I think that's how she's kind of like claiming her space as she goes into this new world. And she might change. She might change again. She might just wear all black again. Who knows? But it's her choice, and she doesn't have to ask anyone for permission. So
That's
I don't
really well
see it as a
said.
negative thing. I see it as just a character or, a woman deciding something for her who's still authentic, but it's what's making her comfortable. Like, because, like, I imagine you saw, like, she was wearing the Birkenstocks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's just choosing something that's comfortable. She's choosing that. Because there was one point where she's going up to Weird Barbie's house and she's like, man, if I didn't have huge, like, feet, I would never wear heels.
Yeah.
And then she doesn't. So she chooses the thing that's comfortable for her and she wears that instead.
Yeah, that was a fun little and free feet pics. I had no idea that was as large of a thing as it is online.
What did you just say?
Free free feet pics.
Why do you have to bring it there?
Because the internet
Like,
did. I had no
I ain't
idea.
king
Like,
shaming no one, but we were on a, like, we were doing fine. Why you Like, I'm happy for those people. They're eating good. God bless. I mean, it's Margot Robbie, but come on.
like the that's where those meta jokes work for me. Where like Barbie has this big powerful moment, and like there's, I mean, they downplay all the makeup and she's crying, and like there's this realness to it. It's
Mhm.
like how ugly she feels, and like the narrator's just like, Margot Robbie's not the person to give this
Yeah,
speech.
this would be a better line if it wasn't coming out of Margot Robbie's mouth.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, totally.
it's fucking amazing.
And just when they meet the fucking the construction worker just going, I don't have any genitals. I'm like, okay, cool, sick.
It just shows the two of them, like how desperate Ken is to be accepted by anybody. I've got all the genitals.
I've got all the genitals. And it's like, yeah, king, pop
It's
off.
so good. It's so funny. It's so good. And then it turns out that was a setup for
For the
the end of
final
the
damn
movie.
thing and it rips.
It's so good. They set up so
It's
well, like, oh,
so
she's
good.
gonna go get a job, and they do this beautiful little
Yeah, she's a
thing,
woman
this
now that owns shit.
this beautiful little nod. I guess I could have used, all right. I guess I could have used, like, without the blatant. It would have been fun to figure this out myself. Like, she calls herself Barbara, because that's the person she was based off of, and that would have been
And also,
beautiful.
it's the full name of Barbie, so Barb.
Yeah, but they set that up so nicely, and then they're like, "I'm here to see my gynecologist." Like, fuck yeah.
I love that. I love that. I loved it because it was funny and also it's the mundanity of being a fucking woman. I loved it. Perfect, perfect way to end the fucking film.
It was
Perfect.
perfect,
I loved it.
absolutely
So
perfect.
good. And the husband who's just not around, he is an accessory to the other, like the wife, and he's
Yeah,
just like, hey. And he is the real world Ken just fucking doddering about. I love that man too. He's in it for 2 seconds. I
yeah,
love him.
it was amazing.
Oh, I
Wasn't
need
sold on
to.
the daughter.
No, I wasn't sold on her, but I really did appreciate the relationship between the mum and the daughter
Yeah,
because, hi, what did
I
Will Ferrell say? I'm the mother of a daughter or something.
yeah.
Some shit. And I was like, "Ugh."
I
But as a daughter to a mother who has had that kind of thing where my mum desperately wanted me to like Barbies, and I was like, fuck no, I really want a dinosaur, a dragon, please.
Mhm.
Like, I get it. I get that kind of like longing for it. And I have a friend who Minnesota, and she has children, and she said that that whole thing was again like a punch to the gut of just like, oh my god, I'm not relating to my daughter, and now they're changing, and I just and it was like, oh fuck, that's another viewpoint I don't know
Yeah.
yet, or I might never, I don't know. So I wasn't sold on it, but I was like happy to hear like for other folks it
I
did.
yeah, I mean, the scene, just the school scene in general, all of it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, this is a bit too much. Like, Barbie's trying to find the girl that plays with her, and again,
Hmm.
I don't even remember their names, honestly. Then this one random child runs up to her, is like, you don't go talk to her. Don't, she'll rip you apart. First off, what the fuck was that? What the hell
I
is that?
mean,
It's
To
second.
be real, little girls at that age, like when they're in that level of school, yeah, they will rip you a fucking apart. I don't need to be warned. Like you would just let them go to the wolves at that point. You just
Yeah,
do.
I don't. I should know what the hell that was. Like, there's a weird child just
Yeah.
runs up and just. I didn't see the point of that barrier. I didn't.
They were
I
an
didn't understand
Allen.
that.
They were an Allen,
I guess
yeah.
so, right? I guess. But and then like they're like, oh yeah, just rip her apart. Art. Now that I'm saying it out loud, and after everything we talked about, while I was watching, I was like, why does she just have this information just ready to go? I know she's just the mouthpiece for the critique against the Barbie brand, or like the general perception of it, or like the pushback, as opposed to like the movie starting off saying like, hey, it was meant to say like women could be anything. It's like, yeah, but here's how you pigeonhole women, and this is the perception that you, Barbie, have given women. Like, this is the negative outcome you've given women. I At first I was like, why does she just have this ready to go? But I was also like, look at her. She is a teenage girl who's trying very hard to give off a certain perception
Of
of
don't come
herself.
near me. You can't hurt me. Leave me alone. It's like trying to protect herself.
Like,
She's finding a way to protect herself.
yeah, like I was seeing it from like as when I was a teenager, and I would not have that information ready to go.
No, because you were thinking about fucking turtles. Well, she's going
Right.
like boys are staring at me weird, and I feel fat, maybe I feel too skinny, maybe I feel this, and I don't know who I am. And you remember these things. You remember these little things, and you try to
So
find ways to either build a sword or a shield out of them.
yeah, and you and I both know a woman who still does not go by her name given to her by her parents, even though it's on all really cool documents, because so much of that name was associated
Yeah,
with very stereotypical girly things, negative
yeah,
stereotypes, like
straight up.
you're a bimbo, you're an idiot, you're all you don't have a brain.
Yeah.
I mean,
For the
himbo is
fact
a
that
fresh word, and it's a cute
like
word.
himbo is being reclaimed. Like
Yeah,
himbo is like, oh, you're golden retriever, you cute little dude, you know, like oh, you're a little bit oh
but
sweet.
that's a
A
fresh
bimbo is
word. Yeah,
I can't think of that. I'm a girl.
and
Like no,
that's its own thing. That's been fetishized or whatever else. But like that word has existed.
also being reclaimed,
Yeah,
which
yeah, yeah. But it's existed for a
how
very
powerful.
long time, and the
Yeah, yeah,
impact
yeah,
is there.
yeah, absolutely. And like when you're not at an age of your life, like I'm getting older. I'm in my like early 30s. I'm getting to a point of like I'll wear a bimbo label. You can't hurt me. I've been hurt enough. I'm tired. I'm fine. But when you're a little girl, when you're a teenager and you're trying to figure out who you are and find your tribe, that's so painful. It's so painful. And you carry that crap with you forever. And it takes a lot of deprogramming to get to a healthy place with it.
Yeah,
It's rough.
I mean that's a big part of the movie too. Like deprogramming, like the instant Ken. Like I need you to talk about Ken. I need you to talk about Ken because I need you to push back. I'm just gonna say the critique I saw, or not even a
Yeah.
critique. It was just like the plot twist. Oh, turns out Ken's the villain. Go off.
But he's not a villain. I've said it a little bit in this chat that he's not a villain. He's a man that didn't know how to articulate his feelings. He didn't put them out there. He didn't know how to tell Barbie like, "I just want some time with you" or whatever. And when men don't know how to deal with their feelings, they can react in pretty fucking bad ways and they can harm people around them that love them most. And that's what he did. And he found something that made him feel worthwhile, something that made it maybe make him feel safe, validated him, and then he perpetuated that all over Barbie Land as like a revenge as a way of a coping mechanism to feel with his shortcomings that are coming internally to him. Like, but he's not a villain. He's just hurting and didn't know how to put that out. You can say maybe he has a spur as an anti-hero. You can maybe say that. I don't know. Or just an antagonist. Not anti-hero, antagonist. But he's not a villain because nothing was done with malice. It just wasn't. He didn't know how to articulate. And when you feel so small and not a part of a system that values you, people either retreat inward. Alan tried to escape. Ken put it out, and I just absolutely to see that he was a a villain or he was villainized. He was not. At no point does it ever make it to a point where he's not likable. You just think,
Yeah,
oh
that's
fucking
true.
hell, Ken. Like Ken, this isn't the way. This isn't
Yeah,
the way.
yeah. You just feel like he's just being an
And
idiot the whole time. Like, Ken,
yeah,
no, Ken,
he just
you're being
doesn't
a
know.
complete jackass, dude. Yeah, he
He's
doesn't
a
know
little
better.
boy. He's just a little boy that doesn't know. And I'm not saying that to demean him. Like a little, like a he's a toy, so he's like a little boy has almost been played with him or something, and he just doesn't have the coping mechanisms to think about this holistically. The Barbies have girlhood. They have a sisterhood where they're telling each other that they're great and you're cool and you look beautiful and you're just so talented. They have that sisterhood. The Kens are fucking competing about backflips.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that structure, which
What I
patriarchy
love,
didn't fix. It made it worse.
yeah, I like that you put it that way to me when we were talking about it. Is like, yeah, this is about the patriarchy in terms of like the effect, not only the negative effect it has on women, but like look how it can influence young boys. Like, look what it can do to you. Like,
It
this is,
robs them of valuable friendships with women, and it robs them of like their own emotions and able to reach out to other men. Like I it breaks my heart hearing some men say they've never had a hug off of their friend because they're boys. Like I've heard some men that I'm friends with say their dad never like gave them a kiss on the head or gave them a hug. Like what the fuck is that? That's sad. That's so sad. When imagine what you could do if you were just a bit more in tune, and not to bring it to that place, but men's mental health is so bad because they don't feel like they can outreach and talk to each other. Like that they have to be strong, and you don't have to be anything. You just have to be the same kind of like values that were given to Barbie at the end, which is you're enough, you don't have to be extraordinary, just be you, was given exactly the same to Ken. They both got the same kind of like final point for their arcs of you're enough.
yeah.
So I'm very ferociously like I'm ferocious on Ken. If they didn't want you to like him, they wouldn't make him so fucking just stupid cute even when he's being an idiot. Like you wouldn't see him like he wouldn't have a fanny pack Ken.
No, absolutely
I
not.
don't know if that answers what you're asking for.
No,
Like,
that was
very passionate about
exactly
Ken.
that.
I feel very passionate about Ken.
Yeah, no, that was exactly that. And
Like,
I think that's wild. Like, the pushback against like how blatant it is, how literally they tell you the themes. They will tell you the themes of the movie.
and
Eh,
still some folks don't get it and they see it
Yeah,
as a personal attack. But it's not an attack on you. Like, this is a film about sisterhood and holding people up. They're not trying to hurt you. If it hurts, maybe it's because there's some stuff that we need to examine.
yeah,
Like, even the film makes you examine as a woman too, going, well, that's kind of shit that Ken didn't feel like he had a place to talk about his feelings, or
mm-hmm.
he didn't feel valued because all he does is beach. He didn't feel valued, and that's a imperfection of Barbie Land. There needs to be something better with it. Like you said at the end of the film, they say, "We'll make this perfect. The real world gets perfect."
Yeah.
Like
I just think
it,
it's blatant ignorance to think like that shit doesn't exist. Like, I told you about stuff I literally witnessed in my real life. Like, even after this
yeah,
movie, where I was like,
yeah,
this is ingrained not just in media,
yeah.
and like I'm sure some like folks are out there like, well, I don't see anything. It's like, I mean, like I look at religious ceremony, or yeah, or politics, or just basic
Mm.
structure. It was like it is still very blatant in a lot of ways, and there was a powerful little line there. And I was like, no, we're still in charge. We're just better at hiding it. Something along those lines, right?
Yeah, it was that. It was when Ken goes in to get a job and he's like, oh, I want this. And he's like, but Patriarch is like, yeah, well, we're just better at hiding it now.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's true. Like, and then it's kind of like reinforced by when like Will Ferrell goes like, we have a very, we had a female president once of this company. It's like, cool, dude.
Yeah.
But
The casting of
like,
Will Ferrell was so perfect. Like, I thought it was just gonna be another like early 2000s kind of
yeah, I was like
like
not sold when I saw
Anchorman.
in trailers, and then I was like, no, I love you.
Yeah, and when I first saw him, I was like, oh no, this might be full Anchorman. It's not.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No, and I think, like you said, when it was like when Ruth's ghost comes, like, oh yeah, that's Ruth's ghost. She just lives up on the seventh floor.
It killed me.
I was
it
like,
was so
fuck
good. It's Anchorman with a heart. I'd say
Yeah,
if anything,
100%.
it's Anchorman that's not surface level.
Yeah,
Which
yeah, totally. Which don't get me wrong, I really like Anchorman because it's
I
garbage.
I had a good enough time with it, but like
But it's a fun thing. You're like, "Wee!" And
yeah,
yeah.
there's no meat to it. Like
Wee!
this I want to go back to because
Oh,
there's I do think like all of those extremes, I don't think they clash. I think it better. I don't know. It makes everything funnier. The emotional beats
100
make everything funnier, and it's balanced so much better than the MCU does, where it almost feels embarrassed for being emotional for a little while. You know?
Yeah, where it feels like I like what you said a little bit ago, like at the start of this, was like franchise stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I that makes me trepidatious. I think when we start to kind of like milk these things out, we start to lose the soul a little bit
Absolutely.
sometimes. Like I think the best like franchises or whatever gets reinvented all the time. And I think this needs to sit and be for a while. I mean, would I watch the fuck out of a Ken film? Absolutely. I'm ready for Ken's like, I don't know, like what, Battle of the Bands with Ken? 100%. I would watch that to the day I die. But I think there's something to be said for just making something full of heart and earnestness and just kind of letting it be.
Yeah. And that's the problem
Like,
when you have it connected to something like Barbie, I think.
yeah. Put
Because
it on Skipper. Fuck Skipper.
but like they just it's one of those movies where like people are so well trained that you would
Mm-hmm.
expect just to sit around for a post credit. And not for
Yeah,
1 second was I ever under the impression they were going to put a post credit behind this.
absolutely not.
And while Oppenheimer is like you're more blatant, like this is a man movie. I mean, just it is fascinating.
Painful.
It's literally just from the perspective of a couple of men, and it feels.
Yeah.
I I know the battle plan. I know they were trying to drown Christopher Nolan a little bit because I guess his relationship's a bit raw with WB
Yeah, yeah.
and all that, but like there was no better movie to put in contrast. Like, well, it's nothing like each other. I'm like, yeah, but isn't that interesting? Because Barbie is all about that, and you have no better example of man-focused media than
Mhm.
Oppenheimer. I feel because like
Yeah.
in that movie, spoil a little bit of spoilers for Oppenheimer, I guess, but like you see it
I mean, we're
mostly.
living in a post-Oppenheimer world.
Yeah, yeah. But like it's mostly just from his perspective. You do get a couple of Nolan like little twists in terms of like
Yeah.
chronological storytelling here and
Mhm.
there, but it is mostly just Oppenheimer. So when he's in his
Yeah.
extramarital affairs, it's not
Mhm.
one of them's a very big deal. But like
Mhm.
even then, like there's not a major focus on the relationships he has with his children. His children show up
Mhm.
every now and then, and like they make a blatant scene of like, yeah, I can't take care of my kids right now. Still in his life, but
Yeah.
like they jump from one scene because like it takes place over decades. But there's like you know that he has a kid, but then
Yeah.
later on in the movie, suddenly there's two kids, and they never talk about them. They never ever talk about them. It's just like, oh, the kid's a toddler now, and there's a second kid, and we never get the names. They literally never say the names because he just never thinks about them.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. Like I could not think of a better movie to pair this with in terms of what Barbie is trying to say, and while Oppenheimer is still great in many ways, it's a great movie. I don't know. I thought that was a accidental,
No,
brilliant
I think that's
pairing.
really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, thinking about that, like, thinking from the lens of, like and then, again, we're not saying all men, not all men, but just this thing,
Mhm.
man thing. Like, he doesn't consider his children, like you just said. Like, that's, like, the background to his life's work, which is fucking kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Um, whilst Barbie, like, she's considering about the wellness of a little girl she's never met. She wants to go to the real world and help her because she's obviously making her sad. Like, yeah, Barbie doesn't want to be thinking about death and shit. She doesn't want to do that. But she's going, well, I need to help this person. Finds out that it's not the little girl. It's actually the mom. And she doesn't ever try to change her. She's just trying to, like, understand at that point because she's already started to go on the journey. I feel
Yeah.
like that's a little bit of a difference. Like again,
Absolutely.
trying to
Absolutely.
look after Ken. Ken's taken everything from her, and she's still going, "I'm sorry, Ken. How can I help?" Like very, there's a feminine perspective there. I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. I completely agree. Just to bring it back to Barbie, uh, so I was talking about like the teenage girl. Like as we're talking, I have a little bit more respect for what they were trying to do with her character. It's just still, it's whatever. It's like not my favorite performance by any stretch of the imagination. which I guess is not fair to her considering just how big
Like,
somebody's
everyone else was
personality
so
is.
rock star.
Like even like the
Like,
smaller roles, right? Like
oh,
Weird
like, freaking
Barbie. Oh
Weird
God,
Barbie, I love Weird Barbie.
yeah,
I have a crush on Weird Barbie, I'm not ashamed to say that, I love Weird
I
Barbie.
know you do.
Weird Barbie, hit me up, please.
I just it made me
I wanna
respect.
do
It
s
made me respect Rugrats more
Oh,
retroactively,
straight up.
right? Like Cynthia, I was
Straight
like,
up.
oh, okay. I did not get that as a kid. I was like, why does she have an
'Cause I
ugly
think
doll?
that's so much love. That's when you love something so much though, and you just love it a little bit.
Isn't that weird? I like
It's
that. That's a
like
weird Barbie. She's the one that gets it.
yeah, she's the one that is fucking loved, and this little girl is being creative with and doing all kinds of stuff. I loved that. And I also thought it was kind of like a beautiful, sad thing again, that feminine experience of all the other Barbies call her real Barbie to her face and behind her back and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And who do they recommend Barbie to go to when she's having her existential crisis? Go to Weird Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And Weird Barbie doesn't turn her away. Weird Barbie is like, yeah, here's what you can do, and this is how you can help. And
It's not even that. Not even that. She's like,
when,
no, you have to.
yeah, and
Yeah.
when the Kingdom's there, like, who's the one that's like rallying, like, as much as they can, trying to deprogram, like, brainwash Barbies and has sugar daddy and
Like without
I
her
can.
human counterpart, Barbie's human counterpart, it's a big
Mm,
important part of it. But also, Weird Barbie's the other part of that too, because she's been
yeah.
through it. She's gone on
Yeah.
that journey.
She's gone for that and she's comfortable with where she is.
Yeah.
Like she feels like the adult Barbie. She's the the Barbie that's hit menopause who's like, I've done
Yeah.
it and it's
Yep.
alright and you'll get through it and it's cool. Like you're gonna come out different. You're gonna come out a little bit broken. Like you're gonna have your hair cut and have doodles drawn on your face. But you're gonna survive and you're gonna change and that's alright.
And it's still a beautiful thing in its own right.
Yeah.
It's yeah, absolutely wonderful. The daughter mother relationship, this is blatant as it. I mean, that went exactly like you thought it was going to do. Like, but I don't think they never once say that the daughter is bad for dressing all in black or anything. I think the movie
No,
was
they
just
just say
saying
that her
just
family's wrong.
yeah, so like just be yourself. You are fine as you are. Like the entire theme of the movie, right? And like that's
Yeah.
when they finally see each other. She's like, "Yeah, mom, you are kind of dark and weird, and that's great." And that's where they connect, where they see each other as women.
Yeah, and when they're in the car and the young girl, not little girl, she's a young girl, she knows the lyrics to the song, and when she reads it, she's like, "Oh God, this song!" Like
Mm-hmm.
that, you don't have to be one or the other. You can be this beautiful mix of pink and black, or blue, or whatever fucking colors you want to add to your palette. You can be all these things. You don't need to be one thing.
Nope.
And so, like, whilst as the character itself, I think the relationship is like a stronger than some of its parts. Although I did like America's character of like when she's drawing the weird
She's
Barbies,
just
and
great.
she can see that she's just like,
She's just a great actor.
oh god, I'm
Yeah,
going through some fucking shit.
yeah. I mean,
But I want to call out the other
she was
Barbies
Ugly
too.
Betty. Like she's done this shit.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I've just
Like
started recently watching Superstore or whatever it's called, and she's the best character in that show too. Anyway,
no
sorry,
idea
go
what that
ahead.
is. Oh yeah, you did a misogyny again. Check
Sorry.
yourself out. Like I like all the other like other Barbies are really cool though. Like Dr. Barbie, President Barbie, loved her.
Yeah.
Um, oh, Nobel Prize winner Barbie. Also, different Barbies of different shapes and sizes. Disabled Barbies, trans Barbies. Fuck yeah, loved that. That was fantastic. Because one of my big hangouts with Barbie as a kid was like, ah, she's like tiny and little and stuff. And oh, okay, I'll never be Barbie. But now Barbie can be everyone. Loved that. Really loved that.
I think
And
that's
they were
a
all so good when they were like doing like the 4 hour like look into each Barbie's eyes and sing them a song thing.
those so fucking
They were so good. They all the Barbies were amazing.
good.
And
Yeah.
the fucking joke about the Justice League or the Snyder Cut, I lost my mind.
What was that joke again? I'm trying to remember.
Oh god, it was like when they just deprogrammed the Barbie and she was like, "Yeah, that was weird. I felt like I just really cared way too much about the Snyder Cut." And I lost my fucking mind. I was like, "You've seen me. You've seen the shit I've had to see on Twitter."
Let's not let Pup watch that movie. He will hyperfixate on that one point.
Pup, watch the movie, mate.
Oh
You can
god.
come over, come watch at my house. I'll stare at you the entire time.
All right.
But
So I mean, God, we could talk about this movie for hours. Like, I know we're a bit all over the
when the
place.
preview comes out, I'm gonna go again.
Yeah,
I think we're a bit all over the place because it's been a few days since we've seen it, so obviously the memories are fading a little bit. Like
but
there were some scenes that I know I'm gonna see again. I'm gonna lose my fucking
but the
mind.
important shit is like sticking. You know,
Yeah,
like
100%.
like I'm not gonna sway on how I feel about this movie. Like it's kind of set in
No.
stone. I do worry people will grow exhausted on it and they will blame this movie for whatever comes from this because Hollywood
Mhm.
is going to do some stupid shit from here because all I've been hearing about for WB for the
Mm.
past year and some change was just how big of a mess they are, mostly from the superhero side of things, but like
Yeah.
overall, that conversation grew and grew because they're throwing themselves to other corporations, and now there's reality TV all over Max, and now that's no longer HBO Max, but all this stuff, like they're hemorrhaging money,
Yeah, garbage time.
and then they did what should not have worked. They released
Mhm.
two summer tentpole movies on the same weekend, partially to try and work against the filmmaker, which I mean, just the asinine nature of that
Yeah,
idea.
there's problems there. That's not cool.
But they instead are making all of the money. Like we've
Mhm.
had this summer, and I keep hearing about like, hey, these movies are not hitting their marks. Like all these big expensive movies, like nothing has been hitting their marks this summer in terms of what they're
Mm.
expecting. I think like Spider Verse is doing what it was expected to do. It's doing strong,
Yeah.
and I mean nobody was anticipating Mario to do bad, and it's not doing bad. It's I think it's the
Yeah.
highest grossing movie of the year. Like outside of those, I don't think there's been much in the way. Like Transformers is not doing what it used to do, and Barbie and Oppenheimer are both selling out constantly because they're both really 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 good, and Barbie
Yeah.
is based off of a franchise. Like it's a franchise movie, but it's not a
Uh,
sequel,
uh,
and
I
Oppenheimer's
don't
not a
want
sequel,
to.
and I
We're
love that.
living the sequel. We're living the Oppenheimer sequel.
I right. Yeah, we are. We are. But like it's I don't know. I do
It's going
respect
great.
yeah, I do respect it on that level where it's like, yeah, of
Yeah.
course, Barbie's one of the biggest brands in the world, but like it
Mhm.
has legs because it's just good. It's just really, really good.
It's really good, like, because they didn't shy away from what Barbie means to the culture,
Yeah.
like, that we're all living through. They didn't shy away from that, and they owned it instead, which is the only way they did that successfully, and I'm a little bit worried about it too. I
Both movies are about
I
like what they've
wish
done to the
and I
culture of the
hope.
world, isn't it? That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, totally, like, horrifically.
Yeah.
But I want to believe, but I don't, but I want to. My God, like UFO in the sky, I want to believe that
I need you on a separate little podcast just to talk aliens sometime soon.
I want to talk about aliens so bad. I
Yeah,
love aliens.
I desperately do.
I want to
Sonic's
fucking talk
fine.
about aliens.
I need to talk about aliens with you.
I'll talk about him too, because I got problems with what you did with that, like top sexiest characters. I think you're all shitheads for it. You'll pick wrong for men, so I've still have got that bugbear.
But that is gonna have
But
to be. I mean, I was gonna say like, well, what are the problems? Like, no, that is a genuine full ass conversation, and I
the
need
fact
to
that
hear
you'll
it.
pick shit like soz, but your men picks sucked.
I mean, what am I supposed to do there?
I don't know. Don't be such misogynist. I'm such a sausage fest. I don't know. Don't know what to tell you, man.
Oh my god.
As a woman, it's not my place to come and diagnose you. You figure that out on your own, Ken. All right, figure you out. But I just
Anyway,
hope that they figure. I hope they read from this though that creator-led things done with earnestness is a place to start going down, rather than just kind of like, oh fuck, we gotta do another Transformers movie. All right, like it's okay to let something like again, let's talk a little bit about Sonic. Like it's okay to let something breathe for a minute. And when you've got something to give, go do the thing. You know what I mean? And be okay with revitalizing something. I hope they see that instead, because they could have just done like a Barbie movie, like the like made to VHS Barbie movies. They could have done that, but they didn't. They brought a creative force in. They had a vision, and they stuck with it. And I'd rather have a bunch of these that sink or swim than just mediocrity.
It's just that's the
I'm
lesson
tired of
Hollywood
mediocrity.
never learns. And it's
No,
and they are
we lost
suffering the
that once.
consequences right now, and they still this writer strike alone shows you how little they care.
Absolutely. And this whole thing of like, it's about the content. It's not about the art anymore. It's about creating content.
Right.
Fuck content. I want something with meaning, with pathos. I want to know a human being put their soul into it.
Yeah.
Like, and at the moment, like, what? A chat GPT goddamn script? I don't want that. I want to see the ugliness of something succeed or fail. Like, it's a shame that the big blockbusters of like the 90s and stuff, where they would just money at you to go try something because they kind of saw your earlier stuff and like, yeah, go mental, make the mummy or whatever.
Yeah.
And we've gone past that now. Now it's about being safe. But I want to believe that we're coming to a point where that era has to be dying because we're tired. We're not going to go see the Pixar movies as much. It turns out Elemental's doing okay, which is great, but we're a bit tired. We want to see something new. We're desperately hungry. You know, I just want that. Give me a Midge movie. That's the only one I'll allow. Give me Midge. I'll do a franchise of Midge. How'd she get pregnant?
It's just that's the worrisome thing for me. Is like on one hand, it's Barbie.
Yeah,
And if you're gonna franchise anything, you're gonna franchise Barbie. It's Barbie. It is the franchise. It's Barbie. But yeah, I mean, this knocked it out of the park so well, and it did such a good job of putting that period at the end of that sentence,
yeah,
where you don't need more. You really don't. Encapsulated everything you could potentially, at least in my opinion. I don't know. Like again, I'm not a woman. I've not grown up with that. You could get more niche, I suppose, with like some of these conversational bits, but like this
yeah,
encompassed so much, and
yeah.
it had so many plates spinning, and it landed everything gracefully, in my opinion.
No, I
So
agree.
I'm worried that we're going to get a Ken movie that's Anchorman. There's no
Yeah,
substance, you know?
which would be a shame because I think Ken is already self-actualized. Like, he didn't wear that tie-dye jumper at the end for nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it was just a perfect little thing that wrapped up. I think it would be a detriment to go back and add more to it because we've all seen a film or two where we've gone, the first one was perfect. Why'd you go back? You've undone
That
things.
is
And I
the
hope they leave us
entire
alone.
that is the entire Jurassic Park franchise.
Yeah. I
I still
mean,
go.
my
I love
friend's kid loves
dinosaurs.
it, but
What's
yeah.
up?
Like my kid's friend loves it. Like, you know.
Yeah, I do too. Show them Jurassic Park.
But yeah, I know. I don't have the heart yet.
I mean, just that first movie. Like, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm still kids are gonna be thrilled at the T Rex just coming out. Going just that. Oh, so good. But yeah, no, that's that movie series, right? It's so
Yeah.
smart. It has a point, and it's really good. And you know what? I'm gonna even say I'm gonna push back. I think Lost World, stronger movie than people give it credit for. They did not need to make more of them. But like that idea alone is so fun.
Mhm.
Why the fuck would you leave it alone?
Absolutely. It's like it's a reason why I don't like watch like ongoing series sometimes because I think they wrap up so beautiful. I'm like, oh God, no. You made me love these characters and these things, and now you're kind of disintegrating them in front of me. I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do this with this film. I don't want to do it with this little world of Barbies. Like, at the very least, let me live with it for a decade. Leave me alone to
Mm,
enjoy Ryan Gosling on loop. Little baby Goose. Let me have baby Goose
yeah.
to enjoy. That's actually what he's called in his band as well. He's called Baby
I
Goose.
love that. I
Isn't that
absolutely
fucking
love
cool, right?
that.
Like that man is so cool.
Yeah. Oh my
Like his
god.
kids were like, why do you want to like his daughter's like, why do you want to be Ken? But he's so cool.
Even
But
as a dude, like even as a dude, I knew like Ken's a nothing character. He's nothing.
yeah,
I love they called
he
it
is the
out. Like you don't care. Why are you pretending you care? You don't. You've not given a
yeah.
thought to Ken.
You
Shut
never
up.
thought about Ken until this, so don't even with me.
Like
And
if
you're
it,
right. Like I was thinking about Ken.
like yeah, I'm sure he's not selling out like Margot Robbie. I guarantee there's more Kens being sold than ever before.
Oh,
Probably.
100%. 100%. I want Ken's Playhouse.
Fuck
Was
yeah.
it Ken's Mojo Dojo Casa
Yes,
House?
I would buy that. I want the Mount Rushmore of horses. Want all
Oh
of
my
it.
god.
I
I
want a
saw a
trans
really
Barbie in a French maid costume. I don't
Oh,
care. All of it.
well, she was the one who said about the Snyder Cut thing, so I also want her.
Hell
She's
yeah.
red.
Hell
Because I
yeah.
felt seen. I felt like I felt like I was looking into a painting and the painting was staring back.
Kind of like my cursed turtle. That's what I'm not putting back up there. That's what
Please
they need to bring
don't.
back. If you're gonna do a sequel of Barbie, I need that cursed pink turtle with
I need you
eyelashes.
to shut your damn mouth, to be quite honest. Like, this is on the day of the UFO hearing. I don't need to see that ET anywhere near me. I will fully puka shell that goddamn turtle. I do not care. I
All
want to
right.
get a six pack and throw it in the ocean now just because of that damn turtle.
All right. Well, any final thoughts you kind of want to give on Barbie before we wrap up this particular episode?
To be self-indulgent, it felt really nice and really lovely and cathartic to have something so joyous and so unapologetic and something made for someone, for people like me. And I'm normally a pretty shy person about things I like, but it's been almost a little bit of a joy for people to go, this isn't made for me. Like, yeah, it's not, because it's made for people like me, and that's quite nice. It's nice to have a space. And there was nothing lovelier than seeing people get dressed up in pink to go see this film and be unapologetically a little bit more joyful, a little bit more pink, a little bit more, a, li- a little bit more feminine for a minute, because people seem like they're having a good time. It's been like, I feel like we're all having rough times at the moment. I feel like the
Mm.
world hasn't righted itself in years. This was a very needed breather, and please go see it and go in with an open mind and have fun.
I
Pregnant
can
Midge.
yeah, pregnant Mitch. I can tell you like as somebody who does not know Barbie, which is very base level stuff. The infectious nature of the love of this brand um was is felt because like I mean like I have enough of my dork stuff, right? Like I have enough of my dork screenings for stuff more focused on me. Like I'm getting another Ninja Turtle movie, which yeah is gonna be for kids, but it's clearly made by people who grew up with Ninja Turtles. I
Mm.
get that kind of shit all the time, and it only dawned on me like while I was walking into Barbie, like wow, look at all this pink everywhere. It's like how rare is it for just women to just have a thing, you know?
Yeah. And people and like queer folks, you
Yeah,
know? Like
like
this is our safe little place where we could just be vibing for a minute.
and just
And the
that
best thing is
celebration is so
everyone's
good.
invited.
Yeah,
You're invited, every dude is invited. Come to Barbie Land.
it was
Just
like every time I see that, like with my stuff, or again with Barbie, it's just like it feels like a comic convention or anime convention leaking out into the rest of the world.
mm,
Where it's like, and those are like my favorite. I used to work at a hotel, and
mm,
we had Anime Iowa there every year, and it was my favorite time of year.
mm.
I was like, I made sure I worked during Anime Iowa. Like I would go
Yeah.
after I was on my shift or something like that. Like I just had to be around that. It was just so fun to be around all these dorks, just being dorks. But then you'd get it every
Yeah.
single time. People coming in like for their business trips or something. Like, oh, is there a thing going on? Like, yeah, we warned you. These guys are gonna let their freak flags fly for a bit. They're just here
Because
to
it's damn beautiful.
celebrate. They're here to celebrate just things they love, and that's
Yeah.
wonderful. And this movie
Death to
does
cringe,
that.
man.
Yeah,
Death to
this
cringe.
movie celebrates the living hell out of loving Barbie, but being completely honest about it, and that
Mhm.
the sense of humor is amazing. It's clever. It's well written. It's beautifully shot. The attention to detail is unlike a bunch of movies I've ever seen. And even as somebody who does not identify as a woman or understands, going through that kind of, it's refreshing to have a different point of fucking view for a little bit. Like you're gonna be fine. Don't be a baby. It's
Yep.
really, really, really good.
There's space for everybody on the Malibu beach. If you got the
Absolutely.
Kenergy, you're welcome.
But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for our spoiler cast. Stevie, thank you so much for joining me. This was a very fun episode.
You're genuinely welcome.
You
Misogynist.
you have anything you want to share if they want to find you doing stuff?
Oh God. Ugh, you can find me roaming around the internet like a fucking cryptid along the moors. I'm on, I'm on Tumblr. I don't know.
All right.
I got a card. I don't know. Just find me around.
You're an industry professional. They've seen your work. They will see your work. You're great.
Yeah. Say nice things about me on Moby Games. Or don't. Leave me alone. It's fine.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah, guys, if you want more of this, I mean, we usually talk about Sonic. That's every Friday morning. East Coast, whatever. You know that stuff.
Ew.
And go check out the other spoiler casts. We're gonna do a few more of these, probably with the boys. But Stevie, I'd love to have you back on for more stuff very soon. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to talk about aliens or Bluey. Oh my god, I can talk about Bluey.
All right, we're going now. Okay, bye.
Bye.